Hey guys, my name's Meredith and I'm going to talk to you today about idioms. Idioms are often used in written and spoken language, and when you first hear an idiom, it can be kind of confusing if you take it literally. Here's an example of one. Can you give me a hand? Doesn't that sound odd? Because you can't literally take your hand off and let me borrow it, right? So when I ask you to give me a hand, what do you think that I'm really trying to say? Turn to your neighbor for just a second. I want you to talk to them about what that means. Okay, everyone turn back to me. What ideas did you guys hear? When I asked that question, I was asking if someone could come and help me with what I was doing. Do you see how that might be confusing? Okay, next I'm going to read you guys this silly book. It's called Why the Banana Split, and it was written by Rick Walton, and the pictures are by Jimmy Holder. While I'm reading, I want you guys to listen so closely to everything I'm saying, because when we're done, I want you to talk about some of the idioms you heard in there, and I am going to talk to you about some of my favorite idioms that we read in the story as well. You ready? Why the Banana Split. That's the dedication page. When Rex came to town, everyone looked at his huge head high in the air and his large, sharp teeth. They're all so tiny down here looking up, and do they look scared? I think they look kind of scared. And he's pretty big. And they screamed, "Dinosaur! Dinosaur, run away! Run away!" And they did. See them all leaving down here. The jump ropes skipped town. Look, all the ends of the jump ropes have eyes. Isn't that funny? The astronauts took off. They just jumped in their space shuttle and left. The banana split, peeled out, slipped away. He was almost falling. He did fall on his face. The frogs hopped a train, and that train made tracks. Look at all their tongues. Do you see them? The basketball players went traveling, while the baseball players struck out on their own. And they're traveling because they picked up their balls and they're running. They're not dribbling anymore. "Goodbye," said the shoppers. "Bye-bye," said the shopkeepers. The jackhammers hit the road, and the lettuce headed out. They all look squished in that box, huh? The trees took their own leaves, and the water ran off. Look, all the water droplets are outside of the water. The boots took a hike, and the knives cut and run. They're slicing while they're running. The snake said, "So long," and the cows moved on. "Why are you all running away?" asked Rex. "If you're coming, we're going," said the drum, just as he was ready to beat it. "We don't want you to eat us." "But I only eat fruit," said Rex. "Really?" said the drum. "In that case, hey everybody, come on back." And they did. All except for the bananas. Why do you think the bananas didn't come back? Because they're fruit and he eats the fruit, right? Okay, now I want you to turn and talk to your neighbor for a few seconds about some of the idioms that you heard in the story. And then when we come back, I'm going to tell you about some of my favorites and I'll explain them to you. Okay, you guys ready? Everyone turn back to me. Okay, this is the first one I want to talk to you about. The jump rope skipped town. And this one I think is funny because what do you do when you're jumping rope? You're skipping it, right? So when someone skips town, it can mean that they're leaving town. So the jump ropes were literally skipping through the town and skipping out of the town. So they're leaving. The next one that I liked a lot was, oops, wrong page. The jackhammers hit the road. Have you guys ever seen a jackhammer in real life? Well, they look kind of like these without the silly faces, right? This little part down here is literally hitting the road to break it open so that they can build something new there. So when a jackhammer hits the road, in this story, they were leaving, but it's funny because they actually do that. Okay, let's go to the next one. And the knives cut and run. What do we do with knives? We cut with them, right? So if a knife is cutting and running, what do you think that means? Again, they're leaving. And the last one, this one was my very favorite. If you're coming, we're going, said the drum, just as he was ready to beat it. What do you do with a drum? You beat on it, right, with the drumstick? So what was he doing? He was getting ready to literally leave. So what do you think in reading this? After I read this story to you, what do you think all of the idioms in this particular book were about? Did you guess leaving? Because if you did, then you're right. Not all idioms are about leaving, but these were just some really great examples that give you an idea of how something that you hear every day can be taken literally, but it also can mean something different. So like I said, the jackhammers hit the road. The drum beat it. If you take it literally, it works in this situation, but it doesn't always work out like that. Okay, now I want you guys to have a little bit of practice, so I'm going to have you all write. You can pause. I'm going to read you some idioms, and I want you to write down what you think they might mean. And you can pause the video in between if you need some extra time to think about it. And then once you're done with all of them, we can come back and we're going to talk about what these might mean, okay? Okay, let me get started. The first one is, he must have gotten up on the wrong side of the bed this morning. You are down to the wire, boys and girls. The paper is due tomorrow. After she told me the secret, I told her, Mum's the word. He went home early. He was feeling under the weather. Okay, what'd you guys come up with? Which one was your favorite? Can anyone tell me what he must have gotten up on the wrong side of the bed this morning actually means? It means that you were in a grumpy mood, right? And the next one, you are down to the wire. What does that mean? It means that you're cutting it close on time. You are running out of time, right? You're about to meet a deadline. That's a good way to put it. After she told me the secret, I told her, Mum's the word. Does that mean that you're going to keep the secret or you're going to tell the secret? I think it means you're going to keep it, right? And then he went home early because he was feeling under the weather. What does that mean? If you're under the weather, does it mean you're feeling good or are you feeling bad? Feeling bad, right? Okay, so I want you guys to practice when you hear an idiom thinking of what it could really mean, because often it doesn't make sense right when you hear it. So you have to use your context clues to figure out what the person is trying to say. So I want you over the next couple of days to talk to people in your family about idioms that they use and what they mean. And you're going to bring those back to class, and we're going to talk about those from there. Okay? Let's move on.